Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I will be doing a Love After Lockup review. This is episode 9, I think it is, Wife on the Run. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the review. Hey, that rhymed. We'll start off with Tracie and Clint. So we start off with Clint meeting with the lawyer, and they are talking about Tracie and where she is, and if Clint has heard anything or knows what county she's in. He doesn't really, I think he has an idea, and so they go ahead and call the county jail or whatever. They tell somebody her name and all that stuff, and they check the system. And evidently she was released that day at 3 p.m. and she has not yet contacted Clint. So I'm not real sure what's going on with that. And we obviously know that legitimately this is like a real storyline because we haven't seen Tracie in 4 episodes now or 3 episodes. So I'm sure she's probably out getting high again. I'm sure that's what she's doing. And Clint is like talking to the lawyer, and the lawyer is like, hey, considering what's going on, do you feel like she is making you a priority? Do you feel like, she's gonna end her addiction? Clint pretty much doesn't have any answers for him, and the lawyer is recommending that he go ahead and divorce her. New Mexico is a community state, I think is what he said. Any debt or any money they acquire after they're being married, half of it goes to her. So if she acquires all this debt and owes all this money, for anything that she does while she's high, Clint is responsible for it. Clint talks about this rental car situation and how he's still, is on the hook for that. And they can't charge a credit card because he's done pretty much maxed it out, and he's in a bad situation with that. He's still reluctant to divorce Tracie. I really don't know what the appeal with this lady is because, he must don't get no ass or nothing like that, because I'm just not understanding. I'm just not understanding why he cannot let this go. And, I get that you want to be with somebody, but dude, you didn't have to marry her. You can still be with her and not marry her. You're going to be financially on the hook for this stuff and legally. So, if he want to be a crash dummy, then he can just go right ahead and be stupid. So I don't really feel sorry for Clint at this point. He seems to really be in love with Tracie, but at the same time, is love going to pay that $20,000 bill for that rental car? Don't think so. Moving right along to the next couple. I believe that's all we see from Tracie and Clint. Correct me if I'm wrong down in the comment section. We move on. That's my son. Sorry, y'all. We move on to Megan, Micheal, and Sarah. So we're just going to call them MMS because I'm not about to say all that every time. So we start off with Megan. She's in the bed after Micheal has left. She's, saying that she thinks that Micheal might have to go back to prison because he came out there to see her and he violated his parole, and she's sitting there blaming herself for something that he, as a grown-ass man, did. This girl's delusion and self-respect and dignity is very, very minimal, because I don't see how you can blame yourself for something that a grown-ass man is doing. He knew the risk. He knew he wasn't supposed to be doing all that stuff, and he did it anyway because he wanted some tail. So, girl, whatever. So she's sitting there all, self-loathing, and I'm just like, girl. We switched back to Sarah, and Sarah's like, the parole officer was looking for him. So I guess Sarah really wasn't lying, because my previous review, I said, I wasn't for sure she's telling the truth, and I don't think that I got to upload that. I didn't get to upload that. I didn't get to upload it because I was still fighting off the flu. But I said that in my last video that I wasn't for sure if she was lying or not. Turns out she might be telling the truth. Micheal then comes in. He's been gone for 2 whole days. He hasn't reached out to Sarah at all. He hasn't reached out to Sarah at all. She doesn't know what's going on. She's obviously visibly upset when he comes in the door. You know, she's pretty much like, you've been with some bitch. You know, her homegirl's there. And her homegirl is there. And he's, you know, over it.com. She's just like, girl, you know, you need to let this dude go. Sarah's just being over the top. She's being very dramatic, and I get her feelings are hurt. And this is the one time watching Sarah I really just genuinely felt bad for her. She's crying. Michael feels like he's being pulled in all these directions. He doesn't know, you know, he's got the parole situation, he's got the situation with Michael, he's got the situation with Sarah. He doesn't know what he should do. And he's just all, you know, looking like he on the, you know, just looking stupid in his damn confessional, like, you know, talking all slow like he's been doing. And he's saying that, you know, he doesn't know what he should do, basically. During all this rigmarole and all this back and forth, Michael is attempting to try to leave again because Sarah's over there, you know, she's yelling and screaming and doing the most, which rightfully so, because for 2 days he left. You know, he's attempting to leave again. So she goes outside, follows him outside. It's basically like, I'm the mother of your child, I'm your wife, and you're leaving me, and you left for 2 days and didn't give us an explanation, anything like that. He's just basically standing out there like, I'm ready to go. She's like, he doesn't care. He doesn't care. Michael's just like, girl, get yourself together. He's just not giving her what she thinks that she deserves as far as like the emotion behind it. And he's not, because he's not really featuring her right now. You know, she runs upstairs to her homegirl, Emily or Emma or whatever her name is. And she's like, he doesn't care. He doesn't care. I was just sitting there and he doesn't care. Girl, he don't care. But she was telling homegirl she hate her life and, you know, just really laying it on thick. Michael comes out there, dragging his ass. He gives her a hug and kisses her and says he loves her. He's reluctant to do that because we know he's lying. Her homegirl is just like, you know what? I'm about to go. I'm not feeling this. Like, I knew she was going to do this. He just whispered some sweet nothings in her ear, and she's just all here for it. And I do not blame homegirl, because I've had friends like that, and it's frustrating. It's just like, girl, you crying to me. I'm, you know, being here for you, and you are just being stupid, and you keep going back to this guy. All Michael had to do was say, I love you, kiss her, and that was it. She was right back in his arms, you know, with the tomfoolery. Moving a little further along, we see Michael and Sarah. They're at a playground with Aviana, and, you know, Michael's like, he wasn't sure if, you know, Sarah said something to his parole officer. Sarah's talking to us, and she's like, Michael is never going to tell anybody where he was at for 2 days. He will never tell anyone where he was. Girl, we already know where he was. You're the only person in the dark. I don't really understand why Sarah is so complacent with this. She's like, we're going to enjoy our day as a family here at the playground. And that's really, you know, that's really the extent of it. Like, she's not holding this man accountable for anything. And he's basically saying that he's just appeasing her right now because he's afraid she's going to go to his parole officer. We know the age-old story about that. You know, the woman gets mad, she called the police or called the man parole officer, whatever the case is. You know, that's an old story. That's nothing new. Do I think Sarah would do something like that? I'm really not even sure. At this point, I'm not really sure, because I feel like she could have did that already. Because I was pretty convinced she was lying about the parole officer, and convinced that if he was looking for her or looking for Michael, he or she was looking for Michael, you know, she would have dimed him out, but she didn't. Probably a couple weeks ago, I'm like, for sure she would do that, but it really seemed like she would really do that now. Sarah mentions that she is pregnant. We already knew kind of that she might have been pregnant. They kind of, you know, hinted around that the last couple episodes, or the last episode, I think it was. But she confirms that she's pregnant, and she's waiting to the best time to tell Michael and her homegirl. And cannot emphasize how upsetting that is, because this is a man who has shown you who he is. He has not even been around for the majority of the child's life that you have now, and you done went and got pregnant again. I would say for me as a woman, I think it's up to the woman to make sure she's on birth control or using, the man is using some kind of contraception, and can just up and leave. Now, I can go into detail about that, but we all know that it's much easier for a man to leave. Women can leave as well, but it's much harder. Being pregnant and being so irresponsible and being so, to me, it's selfish. I know a lot of people would disagree, but I think it's selfish to continue to get pregnant and to be stupid behind a guy. And you get pregnant again. I cannot. And that's the part that jerks you right back into reality when you're watching these shows, because you realize that it's innocent babies, being brought into the situation. For those two, they are a hot mess. At the end, we see Megan in the car and, talking about how she hasn't heard from Micheal or seen him since he left. She's anxious to get to see him, and she's wondering if he's, using her. Her number one goal is to go see him as soon as possible. It's like these two women are a hot ass mess. So that's it for MMS. Moving on to the next couple. Next couple we're going to discuss is Matt and Caitlin. So we start off seeing Caitlin. She's looking at an apartment with a realtor. I'm not real sure why they need a realtor for an apartment. I don't know. It doesn't seem like they're purchasing the apartment, but if they are, maybe I missed that. Looking at an apartment, it's very quaint, I think is the word that the realtor, whoever used. And it is very quaint. It's a smaller apartment. And I mean, that's really all they need. It's just those two. Unless, Caitlin's gonna move her kids in or something like that, unless she knocked up right now. When Caitlin's there with the realtor, Matt isn't there yet. Evidently he's coming later, or he's getting a ride from his homeboy, that tried to set him up on an interview, and he's on his way there at the moment. Caitlin's, looking around. She likes what she sees. The realtor, she tells the realtor that her fiance has a very full criminal background. And, the realtor is like, I believe in second chances, and I think we're able to work with that. Matt shows up. He's all he seems like he's annoyed. He seems like he got a funky ass attitude, and he feels like he's being inconvenienced because Caitlin's trying to find him a place to stay, move out of his mom's house. He's like, he's never lived on his own. He's never supported himself. He doesn't know why she picked the place this far. He's just nitpicking. And to me, it's obvious, because I've seen intervention a million times. People with addictions like that and who have problems, he doesn't want to live on his own. It's too much responsibility for him. It's too much stress. It's just too much for him. He gets overwhelmed, and that's why he's turned to drugs in the past. And I think that he's doing, drugs now. Matt in his tooth hole. He just, is not feeling the situation and not being supportive and talking about he wants to marry Caitlin. But how are you going to marry her if you don't have any way to provide for her and y'all don't have a place to live? I can't with Matt. He's such a bum. I can't stand bums. Like, I just cannot stand people who are not willing to work and to do anything with themselves. I just absolutely cannot stand it. We see Caitlin, she seems to have picked up on this, but at the same time, the next thing we see her, she's at a wedding shop looking for dresses. And I'm just like, why are you looking for dresses? You're talking about, she makes a comment like, with everything going on with Matt, still looking for wedding dresses. Huh? Girl, what? Still looking for wedding dresses, even though you ain't gonna have any money to get a wedding dress. She does mention at the beginning of her segment that she has gotten a job at an accounting firm. A friend of hers set her up. She has a job now. Caitlin best to just move on about her life and go get her, enjoy her job and go get her kids and just find her somebody else, because Matt is not what you want. And Caitlin, you can continue to follow up behind him and you're going to get a whole bunch of nothing. just like his mom. He is a big disappointment, and he is a bum, and he's probably back in prison, or if he's not, he's back on drugs. I'm at in your tooth hole. Moving on to the next couple, Brittany and Marcelino. Brittany is super manipulative. I'm just gonna start off saying that. We see their segment starts off, they're getting ready to meet Amanda at this restaurant. Amanda's all dressed up, you know, she got her little freakum dress on and everything, got a little makeup on. Brittany and Marcelino in the car. Marcelino's basically like, you know, Brittany's mine, and you know, I got something that Amanda can't offer him and all, or offer Brittany and all that nonsense. And you know, Brittany's like, don't pick a fight with Amanda, you know, come at the situation acting like you got some sense. And we know Marcelino ain't got no sense, so we gonna see how this goes. That's what I'm thinking while I'm watching this. They get there, Amanda's surprised because she didn't know Marcelino was coming. Again, Brittany's lying again. She keeps saying she doesn't lie. Girl, you're withholding the truth, and to me that's just like lying. I mean, you're splitting hairs at that point. You're lying. And so Amanda's just like, you know, she didn't know that Marcelino was coming. Marcelino's taunting Brittany, or Amanda, talking about, you're a sore loser, don't be a sorry loser, Brittany doesn't want you. And the whole time I'm sitting there, Brittany is sending Amanda mixed messages and toying with that girl's emotions. And Amanda, girl, why are you sitting there letting her do that? Move on with your life. It's clear that this girl is trying to have her cake and eat it too. You know, Brittany's trying to tote the line. And then Amanda storms out. Brittany goes out to talk to Amanda, and Marcelino follows, and Marcelino's basically like, Brittany, you need to set some boundaries to her. You know, Brittany's trying to sweet talk Amanda, and I'm just like, why are y'all letting this girl be so manipulative in this situation? I totally can see, I said this on my last video, but again, I don't think I got to upload it. Brittany, I totally see how Brittany ended up in prison. She is up to no good, and my opinion of her is changing each episode. She is hella manipulative and trying to have her cake and eat it too. She's playing both of them. They get in a conversation about how to set some boundaries between Brittany and Amanda. And Brittany then kisses Amanda and basically sets the boundary. Marcelino doesn't do anything. He just kind of sits there. I think Marcelino's trying to tote the line between, you know, having two women and, you know, being serious. His nature is to be very controlling and to have somebody all to himself. He doesn't want to share. But I think he is at some point toying with it because he doesn't immediately have a reaction to it. But then when we see his confessional that's obviously filmed at the beginning over the course of all the episodes while the person's watching the episodes or something like that, we see that he's like, no, I don't want to share her. That's not something I'm willing to do at this point in the relationship. And I'm just like, Marcelino, you're not as strong as I thought you were, bruh. You let Brittany play the hell out of you. And they get ready to leave, and Marcelino is basically like, you know, I'm the biggest sucker in the world. And I'm just like, yeah, you are. All that, you know, controlling hard stuff that you trying to pull, you letting this girl manipulate the hell out of the situation. Would not be surprised. I was very surprised that they didn't have a threesome because Brittany kind of pitched that idea. And I think if she had pushed it a little harder, Marcelino would have been fine with it. He tried to act like he wasn't at the end, but Amanda was just not feeling it. She was not featuring it at all. She was just like, girl, no, hell to the no. And I was surprised because I was for sure they were going to agree to all that. But Amanda was like, no, girl, that's not how I'm trying to get down. And good for her, you know, keeping your self-respect, settling for something just so you can have, you know, peace of a person that is not willing to give you all of them. So kudos to her for that. That's really the end of their segment. Moving on to the next couple. The next couple is Scott and Lizzie. Lord. So I keep forgetting that it hasn't been that long since these people have been out of prison. We see when Lizzie is walking to the hotel with Jasmine, the little subtitle says 4 days out of prison. I'm just like, damn, this girl only been out 4 days? I mean, it feels like she done been out 4 weeks. See Lizzie and Jasmine talking in the hotel room, and you know, Jasmine's basically, she is not here for Scott. She's not here for Scott. And you know, she's like, you don't know this man, you're about to marry him, give him the ring back, choose me. Or you know, giving Lizzie an ultimatum, it's me or him. Ultimatums never work out, honey. I mean, your mom, again, your mom has chosen drugs over you and everything else over you. I don't think giving her ultimatum is gonna work in your favor, boo-boo. But she continues to do so. You know, she's like, you know, fuck Scott and his feelings. And it's just like, girl, Scott is the one with the coin. He's the one providing for your mom. Who do you think she's gonna choose? Let's keep it real. She already didn't choose you when she ran out of prison, and to hug, the first person she hugged was Scott, her meal ticket. She didn't hug you. So homegirl needs a reality check. I said this, you know, I've said this from the beginning. She's delusional about her mom's addiction, and she's delusional about her relationship with her mom. Your mom has to choose you. In order for somebody to make you a priority, they have to choose you. You don't get to choose for them. Jasmine wants Lizzie to give the ring back. Lizzie's toying with the idea, but she isn't going to give Scott that ring back. She's not. Next thing we see is Scott talking to Adam. Adam is getting ready to get, you know, fly out and continue his life and leave, you know, this whole situation behind him, and good for him. And Scott's trying to get a bow or something together because he done went and bought Lizzie a car. You have no money. Why are you buying a car? Now, he said he didn't spend too much money for it, but we don't get to see what kind of car this is. So let us be the judge of that. What is it, a new car? Is it an older car? She just needs a car to get around. She don't need a brand spanking new car. But my gut tells me Scott has spent way too much money on this car, and he's going even more in debt. He tells Adam, you know, I haven't spent my savings. I'm not spending my savings. I've already spent it. Meaning it's already gone, and you're just charging shit to your credit card. He tells Adam, you know, he's pretty much sold and got rid of all his stuff except for the house. Adam's like, so what's stopping you from using the house? Oh, I'm not going to use the house. I'm not going to put the house up for sale. I'm not going to, you know, sell the house. Adam just isn't here for it. Adam, you're young. Go live your life. Your dad wants to be stupid. Let him be stupid. Just go live your life. Because Scott is a lost cause, talking about he's hoping Lizzie's going to stay around. Lizzie is not with you for the money, boo. I mean, not with you for your looks, boo. He's with you for one reason and one reason only, and that's because you can take care of her. So miss me with that. Scott is in for a rude awakening. This isn't going to end well. This is going to be bad for him. That's where we leave with those two. These couples are a hot mess. Scott and Lizzie, I don't think they're going to end up getting married. Sarah is now pregnant. That situation is, I mean, she's stuck with him for life. She's stuck with Michael for life, and he gonna continue to be a nothing ass man, and she gonna continue to be sitting by his side being a crash dummy. That's kind of my thoughts. That's the recap for this week, for last night's episode of Love After Lockup. Leave me a like, drop me a comment, please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys on the next video. Thanks, bye.